Good morning, Tottenham fans. 5 days to go until the transfer window slams shut. Are you getting nervous yet? I'm actually thinking to myself that this is it now. I honestly can't see players coming through the door. It's getting really frustrated. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 more players Spurs can cross off their list. One of them we've been chasing for over a month now. I'll talk about why there is no excuses for Daniel Levy and ENIC anymore, because there's a lot they've known before this summer transfer window started and they've had no actions on it whatsoever. And lastly, I want to talk about a player that we've literally just go out on loan, and for me it was a very strange decision. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. I noticed 74% of you that regularly watch this channel, comment and like, are still not subscribed. Just hit that button, takes a couple of seconds and it's free and it means the world to me. Thank you very much. Hit that like if you are worried that we may not sign any players in this summer window. So let me start with why there's no more excuses for ENIC and Levy or whoever's running the shit show at the moment, because they must know. These are the things that ENIC must know. They must know there'll be a massive backlash if we don't sign any more players by the time this window shuts. They must know that we have no number 10. They would have known Kulusevski was injured. They would have known that Maddison was injury prone. So don't give me that he was injured 24 days ago and give them that excuse. We knew Maddison was injury prone, so we needed a number 10 even before the summer window opened. They must know that we've sold our captain, our hero, our Europa League winning idol, and we've not replaced him. They must know that. They must know that we finished 17th last season. They must know that other clubs in the Premier League are strengthening their squads around us. They must know what type of players Frank wants, because he's been in meetings with them and spent hours describing what kind of players he wants. Frank has said that himself. They must know that injuries are a huge part of football now. It happens not just at Spurs but in the whole Premier League. It's inevitable and we're still not covering gaps. They must know that they have money in the bank, as they've tried to bid for Morgan Gibbs-White. They've tried to bid for Eze and failed. We've got money. They must know that we know that they've got money to spend, but nothing seems to ever happen. Their planning is absolutely poor. And for all you that keep sticking up for ENIC, I'm not a guy that just pokes ENIC all the time or complains about ENIC all the time. It's not what my channel's about. But everything I've just mentioned there's so much that they should know and not action in it. And on top of that, they do none of the actions for what I've just spoke about. And they still say they want to win the league and they want to win the Premier Leagues. Europa League was not enough. We sacked a winning manager because that's not enough. Things like that is what really frustrates fans. And if you don't sign any players by the end of the summer, there's going to be a huge backlash. And they must know this. They must know it. If they know it and they still do it, then they're doing it on purpose. It has to be on purpose. Now, let me talk about the 3 players that are going to be crossed off Spurs lists very, very quickly. And the first one is we've been chasing him for the last month or so, maybe even longer. And I read out the report from Fabrizio Romano, and it said, Manchester City have informed Tottenham today that are not changing their position on Savinho. Man City have no intention to let him go, not even for a fee over 70 million euros, seen as a key player for the season and for the future. This also blocks any chance of Rodrigo to Manchester City. So after a whole month of wasted time, they've come out and said we're not selling them anyway. So why did we even pursue it? It should have took one meeting to say, are you selling them or not? If not, we'll find alternatives. But no, this is Spurs. They've took a whole month just to be told he's not for sale. That is absolutely ridiculous. That's like me standing in the supermarket for Sainsbury's, waiting to buy a burger for a month and then told that they're not for sale and we don't do burgers in here. Okay, sorry I wasted a month. And then the next story out today, and people were getting really excited about this, because there was news reported earlier that Xavi Simons was touted to come to Spurs. And the first thing I was telling everybody on Twitter was, please don't let yourselves get into this. Nothing's going to happen. And then literally an hour later, it said from lots of reports, Sky Sports News, Michael Bridge, Last Word on Spurs, Fabrizio Romano, all saying Tottenham Hotspur have registered an interest in Xavi Simons. However, it is nothing more than that at this stage, with Chelsea considered the front runners. We knew, again, that Chelsea were in for him. We knew that this guy wanted to go to Chelsea, and there were fans still letting themselves believe that he may come to Spurs. So that's 2 crossed off already. And now the third one, this is the worst one for me, because I thought this was actually possible. But this was reported by Sky Sports as well. It said, Justin, Lucas Paqueta is admired, but there is currently no indication West Ham United would consider a sale. So again, Tottenham fans are all saying, oh, we could get Paqueta. Me, myself, thinking that would be a great signing. West Ham have come out saying he's not for sale. How many more players are there left? There isn't many quality players out there now that we can sign. There is probably 100 or 1,000 players out there that we've never heard of that could be top quality, but are we trying to buy ready now Prem-proven players? It looks like we are. But Paqueta now is probably not going to be for sale. And if I was West Ham, I don't blame them for a second. They've already sold us Kudos. Do you think the fans wouldn't have a meltdown if they sold us Paqueta as well? It would be absolutely crazy. Now, another thing we've done is we've loaned out lots of players. And we haven't brought any in, apart from Kudos and Paulinho. But remember, Maddison and Kulu are injured, Dragusin's injured, Takai's injured, and Udogi's injured, and Sonny's left. So bringing in 2 players, we've actually got less players in the squad at the moment, and now we've decided to loan another one. Let me read the report from Fabrizio Romano. It says, Luka Vuskovic will fly tomorrow to Germany for medical as new Hamburg player on loan from Spurs. Now, I'll tell you why this one's strange to me. Because, like I just said, we have a very thin squad. But we're also very thin at the back for cover now. Like, remember last year we had Davis and Archie Gray? We're not far off that again, you know. If something happens to Romero and Van der Ven, we've only got Danso and Davis. Because Dragusin and Takai are both injured at the moment. And now Vuskovic has gone out on loan. It's looking bleak. We've got to play 2 games a week soon as well, like in a few weeks' time. It's looking bad. So unless Spurs know that they're going to be signing a defender, a number 10, a left wing forward, then everything will be fine. But remember, we've got 5 days to do this. And at the moment, the more the time it goes by, the less that I believe any of this. And it's very, very hard to believe any stories coming out at the moment. So there's no excuse for ENIC now. Like, I think even the hardcore levy in protectors, or the ones that always big him up and say he's done brilliant for this. He's done brilliant for Spurs with the infrastructure and the stadium and, getting the revenue up higher. He's done great for that. But when it comes to ambition, the ambition he says and the ambition that he does are 2 massive different things. And we're seeing it again this summer. We've got, and I did a video about this before, we've got an absolute really strong first 11 of a few tweaks. I'd say left wing and number 10. We get that in, we've got a really strong first 11. Then the squad is not that bad. It really isn't. Our squad is pretty strong and Frank will get the best out of it. But this is a time where we've won the first 2 games, we haven't conceded a goal. Back him. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He looks like he can beat the top teams. He can compete up at high levels if you give him a high level players. This is the best time to back him, and it looks like we're just holding off, scrimping and scraping, trying to get the best deals. Pay the money and buy some players. I can understand the Morgan Gibbs-White situation. You can't blame the board for that. You can't. Because it was that big fat Greek guy that didn't want to sell us the player. Marinakis, that's his name. And You can't really blame them now for the Eze thing. Yes, they spent a week trying to sign him. Maybe they could have done things faster and paid the money up front. But behind our backs, Eze kept phoning up Arsenal and saying, "Can you sign me? Can you sign me? Can you sign me?" So I'm actually quite glad we didn't sign him in the end, because I don't want a snake like that playing for us, this club. So even though those two players have been absolutely brilliant signings, where was our plan B? Where was our plan C? Where was our plan D? There was nothing. We're literally now running around looking desperate. We've got the money. Everyone knows we've got the money, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. It seems like players are getting crossed off the list. We're running out of players. It was only yesterday that Nico Paz is not coming to us now. There's just so many that are not happening. There's even slight rumours again about Morgan Rogers, and for me again, that's another pipe dream. Aston Villa are not going to sell him unless Aston Villa are desperate, which reports are saying that they could be. But then, guess what's going to happen? If Morgan Rogers leaves Aston Villa, Chelsea will come in, Liverpool will come in, City will come in. They will. I'll promise you they will. And what we'll end up with, eggs on our faces again. That's what's going to happen. So even if he does become available and we may be able to sign him, we'll probably get gazumped by someone else that will pay higher wages and a higher fee than us. And that's the story of Tottenham at the moment. Because we should have identified targets before the summer window even started. Maybe you can argue and say they did identify targets, but they didn't get over the line. Maybe you can give them that benefit of the doubt. But again, we're scrimping and scraping in the last 5 days of the window. Sunderland, no disrespect to them, they've just came up and they've spent more money than we have. Nottingham Forest have outspent us this summer. You know, Newcastle have got some good signings in Jacob Ramsey, Elanga. They're looking like they might get Wissa or that Wolves striker now. They're bringing in good players, and they were already way above us in the league. So it's getting panic station times. And I'm not going to have full meltdown today, but if it gets to the window closing and we haven't signed any more players to improve that first 11, especially in positions that we need, it will be full meltdown mode. It will be, and I'm not holding back. I promise you I won't. And it's not, I don't want this to be a moaning channel. We've actually had a really good start to the season. It really is a good start. And I'm really excited. I'm actually going to the game this weekend as well to support the boys. I'm still going to support the manager. I'm still going to support the lads. It's not their fault what's going on in the background. Still want us to carry on and rising up to the top of the league, but they need help. They're doing so well. Back them. They really need it. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's video. Are you thinking that we may not sign anybody else now? Thank you for watching, and come on, you Spurs.